Hi everyone. It is February 10, 2024. Hello, Linty London, Ray Clay, Andrew Cruz, Rage Against the Machine, Sherry Hughes, thank you very much. Kenosis, hello. Haska Sun, Linda Tully, T Lamb. You go, T Lamb. All right, Cecilia Amarati, hello. Rick Yorkin, Elizabeth Rivard, hi. Patricia White, hello. Marty Lauderdale, thank you. Justin Wynn, Space Indian, Hypocrites Matrix, Amber Eyes, and shout out to a new subscriber, T Lamb, and I'm a skeptic. Am I right? Kelly Kibo, hello. Silent Walk, hello. I still talk as if we're just, like you're sitting in front of me, and I expect that response immediately, and I'll never get used to this cyber world. I don't like it. I don't like it. Michael Scott Carpenter, hello. Rusty Hands, you're a new subscriber. Hello, Rusty Hands, welcome. Thanks for joining us. So Marty and Sherry and T Lamb, thank you. If I'm a Skeptic comes in tonight, thank you. But thank you all for showing up. Yeah. News of the day. Did you know that there was a train derailment in New York, upstate New York? 10 railroad cars on cargo train carrying cooking oil and plastic pellets derailed in New York. 2 ended up in the river. And guess what this, it's interesting, fortune. The cars operated by Berkshire and Eastern Railroad. It was Northern Suffolk. Here we go. Once again, Norfolk Southern.
Hoosick Valley Rescue and Hoosick Valley Fire Department were dispatched. On arrival, they noticed the cars were off the track. They immediately looked at any kind of hazards to make sure we don't have any hazards, no life safety concerns here at all with this. The train is on the Norfolk Southern train, operated by the Berkshire Eastern crew. So they're going to be involved in the cleanup here. We've got a total of 94 cars in this train. 76 are loaded, 18 of them were empty. And we have one that's carrying a rapeseed oil, which is like a vegetable oil. It has a slight leak to it, and it's not into the river yet. We've got 10 total cars that were derailed. No injuries.
No injuries, no hazards. It's all good. Do you know how many derailments Norfolk Southern experiences? A whole lot. Did you know that there was another plane crash near Naples on I-75?
News in Naples, where a jet has crashed and burned on Interstate 75. Florida Highway Patrol says The jet was trying to make an emergency landing but hit a car.
And let's get right out now to Local 10's Roy Ramos live on the scene for us of this breaking news. Roy.
Well, I just got a chance to speak with Collier County Sheriff deputies who tell me this happened about a mile from where we are standing. We are actually right off of mile marker 105. This all happening off of mile marker 106, and you can see that all the traffic is being diverted off of the northbound lanes of I-75 onto Golden Gate Parkway as crews begin to investigate this crash. I want to show you video that was obtained by drivers on the northbound lanes of I-75 as they were traveling on this roadway here when they saw this plane come crashing down. Obviously, we've covered plane crashes in the past, and it's likely that that plane was attempting to make a landing when...
Well, it did make a landing. Not the landing they wanted, but look at these skies. Un-effing believable. Are we really going to put up with this much longer? I guess so. I posted a video. I think it was the last video that I had posted. I'll actually try to get it. Hang on, folks. Hang on. Let's see. What you just saw are just contrails, all right? So calm down, everyone. God, you conspiracy theorists drive me crazy. Here. Trust the science.
I've got some exciting news to share with you. 12 new cloud types have just been added to the International Cloud Atlas, the first update to the Atlas in 31 years. You may have some questions. Where were these clouds hiding for the past 3 decades? There's a cloud atlas. Have I seen any of these before? Well, first of all, the International Cloud Atlas is actually a globally recognized source for meteorologists. First created in 1896, it has been a resource of cloud types and photos that has helped train scientists and sky watchers for decades. But since the advent of smartphones, we have a whole new perspective on the sky, and that's really what led to the recent update. Many of the new ads can be attributed to citizen scientists who share and discuss clouds by uploading photos to the Atlas's site. So, about the new clouds. Well, they involve clouds on all height levels and classifications, including rainbow clouds, roll clouds, and wall clouds, as us meteorologists have been unofficially calling some of these. The Latin names themselves are pretty cool. And speaking of cool, my favorite new ads, let me start you off with the beautifully named Asperatus undulatus. Often seen in Canadian skies, they almost look like you're viewing waves from underneath the water surface. There's still a lot to learn about these guys. They likely form in sinking, moisture-laden air with shear winds. Next up, cavum, or hole punch clouds as I know them, caused when ice crystals are introduced into a thin cloud layer of supercooled water droplets, usually from an aircraft during takeoff or landing. The water droplets all rush to freeze in on those ice crystals, creating a vacuum in the sky. I had to add these ones for the conspiracy emails I often get. Yes, these are contrails or homogeneous clouds caused by human activities. In this case, when water vapor condenses and freezes around small particles that exist in aircraft exhaust. Lastly, I wanted to show you this one, Flammagenitus, a scene we saw a lot during the devastating Fort McMurray fires, pyrocumulus clouds actually created by the rising heat of the fire itself. Now, I could go on, but you can actually...
Oh, please don't go on. Please don't. Okay, so we're all nuts. For some reason, these clouds just seem to materialize after the smartphone. Oh, it's so smart. It created all these new clouds. I feel sorry for this woman. She is lost. Her soul is dead. Tucson, we had snow here. I don't live in Tucson. We had snow today. The power went out twice. There was no wind, and it wasn't like a snowstorm. The snow, and it actually accumulated, to maybe an inch. I don't know, but it was wet. It's pretty much gone already. And twice my power goes out. So I called a neighbor, and she said, yeah, every time it snows, the power just goes out. I said, but there's no wind. She said, that doesn't matter. That's just what we live with here. Okay, fabulous. But here in Tucson,
media can all hear me. Answer to the main question is we don't know what's going on out here. Tucson's never seen anything like this before. We've gotten lots of calls about a white powdery substance all over. We did have our crime lab out here just a little bit ago. One of our officers here is helping out now with that. Some stuff we're taking to the lab, and as soon as we find out what this is, we will let you know. Please don't go out in it. I was touching it earlier. We don't recommend you doing this. But I can tell you, this is burning my hand right now. So we do have a little bit of training. And matter of fact, I don't know if let me roll on my gums. Okay, no, that burns. This isn't, do not try that. We have some training that burns. As soon as we get a call from the crime lab back, we will let you know exactly what's going on here right now. Wait a minute. Okay, there's a crime lab. Hello. What? You're kidding me. It's frozen water. Hey guys, let's tear this down. It's frozen water. It's frozen water. I'm sorry. Don't play this part, please. Okay. Thanks, media, everybody.
okay, the police having fun. Apparently, this does take place up in Tucson in the mountains. But no, I wouldn't put it on your gum. It's burning. It burns his hand, it burns his gums. And yeah, I don't recommend going out in it because we know it's in it. No choice but to leave amid New York City housing crisis. But first, I want to play this video. It is so sad to see so many people either struggling to hold on to their homes or struggling with the fact that their homes are gone. Climate change. Oh, yes.
Loved this house. It was our dream house from the beginning. We even thought it was over our heads, but we just worked really hard and made it become our own, and I love it. I have my horses here. I have a 100-pound tortoise that I saved. So yeah, I just love it. It couldn't be more perfect for us.
But Allstate, who insured Darlene's house for 18 years, recently sent her a non-renewal notice.
You can't just say after 18 years of being okay, today you're not okay and that's it.
Home insurance companies are saying homes like Darlene's are too risky to insure. The nation's largest homeowners insurance company, State Farm, has decided they won't accept new applications for property in California.
Household names like State Farm, Allstate, are pulling out of these markets. They know the risk is just too high to be actuarially sound for their business.
There are companies saying there are too many buildings being destroyed by catastrophes, inflation is making it too expensive to rebuild, and they can't protect their investments any longer.
Losses are increasing related to climate risk. As that risk increases, so does the cost of insuring those assets that people have on hand.
But without homeowners insurance, many homeowners can find themselves in big financial trouble.
I've been trying to find another insurance. I had one company step up and said they'd do it for $12,000 a year. I go from $2,000 to $12,000. Yeah, we would have to move. There's no way.
But selling the home might not even be possible.
The moment that an individual gets a non-renewal letter from the private insurance market, they essentially lose 12% of their property value.
It's not just California. Louisiana and Florida are contending with similar issues due to flood risk. Why are so many American houses becoming uninsurable? And what will it mean for the economy when so many homes lose some of their value? Darlene bought her house for $420,000 at the behest of one of her best friends.
My girlfriend that I've known for close to 40 years, she's the one that brought me to this. She lives 2 doors down, and she said, "You have to buy this house." So I had really no choice, but it was the best thing we ever did. It's just 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's only probably 1,700 square feet. It's just perfect. I'm an outside person anyway, so what's the most perfect is the outside. I have a huge pasture for the horses, and the backyard, I had an artist come and she painted all my animals on my back fence. So when I go sit in my little girl area where we have a little glass of wine, all my animals, even the ones I've lost, are all painted on the side of the barn. It's just beautiful.
Darlene and her husband still owe about $360,000 on their mortgage. Most mortgage lenders require home insurance as a prerequisite for the loan, and 58% of Americans hold mortgages on their homes.
You are allowed to live in your home without insurance. That will be called self-insurance. It depends on your financial situation whether or not that is a good or risky choice.
Well, it could be very risky considering what we're living now. Oh boy, I honestly don't know what people are going to do. There are some of you in this chat, some of you watching the live stream, you're going to be experiencing this. It's insurance companies just, well, yeah, you paid in 18 years and nothing happened, but we're now canceling you. And good luck finding comparable insurance. I mean, she was paying $2,000. The insurance that she got, $12,000? All right. And people are, the evictions continue. People can't find housing that they can afford. And I'm talking about not to buy, but just to rent here in New York.
There are so many New Yorkers here and in other boroughs who spend their day in a vicious cycle, going to work and then trying unsuccessfully to look for an affordable apartment. A new report showing that search is now harder than it's ever been.
There are signs of progress everywhere you look. Affordable housing projects going up across New York City. But for millions of New Yorkers like Bronx resident Zulma Figueroa and her husband Manra,
it was very difficult because of the prices.
Their family's quest for housing stability remains rocky at best. The couple and their 4 children live in a 2-bedroom apartment. It's what they were able to find and can barely afford.
The money that you had to put down for the deposit, it was crazy. It was like 3 months, it was $6,000 something.
After you pay your rent, do you find yourself struggling to take care of your other financial responsibilities?
Yeah, it's a struggle.
Zulma and Manra's struggle echoed in an eye-opening new report by the city's Department of Housing Preservation and Development. It shows the city's rental apartment vacancy or availability rate at just 1.4%, a significant drop since 2021, and the lowest citywide vacancy rate in more than 50 years. HPD Commissioner and former Bronx Borough President Adolfo Carrion.
We had a banner year last year in terms of producing new construction of affordable housing. It was nearly 15,000 units. But we are falling very, very short of meeting the need.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul led a groundbreaking Friday for a
Oh, I hate these groundbreaking. Look, all the smiles, and they're holding shovels, and they're doing their photo op, and they're so happy with the job that they have done. However, the residents, not so much. God, the ceremonies. The patting one another on the back. It's sickening. It is sickening. And another sinkhole, and more people displaced.
Repairs related to a massive sinkhole in La Jolla that opened up early last year are being pushed back because of the wet weather.
Several homes off Gilman Drive are sliding off their foundations. And as CBS 8's Jenny Day reports, the legal claims against the city of San Diego are mounting.
This is the size of the storm drain pipe that broke nearly 1 year ago. Repairs are underway and set to be complete by spring, but they're delayed because of more wet weather. This is now 17 legal claims are filed against the city.
The whole building's shaking the whole time. It was horrible.
80 feet wide by 40 feet deep, a massive sinkhole opened up feet away from the La Jolla Terrace condo complex. This is it 1 month ago, and here it is today.
Massive hole, super dangerous.
Kyle Vors, an officer in the Navy, was one of dozens displaced. He said his home shifted several inches over the course of 6 months.
Water kept eroding the ground from the building. You know, every single day they would come back with wheelbarrows of dirt and backfill close to the building and say that, you know, there's no issue at all. Cracks in the walls, cracks in the floors. Doors don't close, doors don't lock.
Despite recent rain, this part of the earth actually gave way in March of 2023. Then Tropical Storm Hillary hit in August, only causing more damage.
They had the ability to fix this 100 times over. They knew that it was a problem, and they openly chose to do nothing.
Kyle says the Freedom of Information Act requests he's filed show the city's own engineering department knew the complex was compromised in March, but the building wasn't red tagged until October. When asked what took so long, a city spokesperson said requiring people to leave their home is not taken lightly.
I kept asking more questions, sending more letters, and calling more people, and it was embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing that to the level that it went.
The city says the ground has been stabilized, the storm drain pipe is once again operational, and that 5,000 more feet will be evaluated for possible repairs. They are also footing the hotel bill until residents can safely get back in. Kyle says they've also offered to pay for his damaged belongings, but at a depreciated value.
Obviously, it smells moldy, is like damaged from being open for 4 months.
Kyle has also filed a complaint against 2 city engineers at the licensing board level. They are looking into any wrongdoing.
Slightly ironic with, you know, the amount of taxes and stuff that you pay here and the cost of living, that you know, premium that I'm paying is definitely not reflected in the quality of work.
Reporting.
Bingo. Everything that everybody is paying, especially in taxes, property taxes, income taxes, all of it, well, it doesn't reflect the quality of work that we're supposed to be getting for all of that payment. Homeowners demand answers as they watch property fall away due to landslide. Is this in California? No. This is in Pittsburgh.
For 2 weeks now, we've been following a landslide in Moon Township that's put people's homes and lives at risk. This is new video today from one of our Sky Eye 2 drones. The cleanup is continuing tonight on Beaver Grade Road.
But still no answers for the homeowners who are watching their property fall away. So take a look at this here. We've got 2 photographs from the same perspective in the backyards where that slide's happening. So over here is from January 15th, and you can see here where the photo is taken, the same perspective. The slide has started, but then over here on February 1st, you can see how much farther down that fence has fallen down the hillside. So now let's take you to the bottom of the hill. This is the view from Beaver Grade Road, and you can see most of the trees and brush have been cleared as they try to shore up that hill. So Chris Hoffman now has the latest as lawyers are getting involved to try and figure out what's next.
Yeah, Christine, Ken, that's exactly what we're looking at right now. And you can just see how this hillside, well, what was a hillside, is now just a cliff as PennDOT continues to clean up. The big question here is who is responsible. That's what we're trying to figure out, because you have the homeowners, you have a section of the hill that's the Homeowners Association, and then you have PennDOT down there with the road. And based off similar cases that have happened in the past, this could take years to figure out. Drone video from Sky Eye 2 shows the devastating slide behind the homes on Stag's Leap Lane in Moon Township, part of the Sonoma Ridge housing plan. Cleanup continued on Beaver Grade Road as it remains closed in both directions.
Now the problem is, catastrophic.
It's been suggested families in 2 of the homes evacuate. At one home, there was no answer today, while the other homeowner was still there, at least.
They feel a little hopeless because there's been no communication, and that's the real problem.
No communication. Communication really has... Well, I think it's becoming obsolete. But look at this. These are the homes that they're tearing down. Pittsburgh. And of course, you can forget about travel.
There's going to be people of means who are going to travel, and then there's going to be people maybe who are lesser means who might actually be able to use an Oculus or a Magic Leap or some other kind of device to travel to the same place, but from their own couch. There's going to be people of means.
There'll be people of means who can still travel. Travel in their private jets. And then the rest of the world. You ain't going anywhere. You can put on some virtual goggles and you can travel to places sitting on your couch. Spanish farmers. You gotta love them.
Mirad, os voy a dar una primicia para que entréis en calor.
Food already in short supply in many supermarkets. How about the Welsh farmers? You gotta love them. It's kind of scary because it looks like they're being auctioned off. But they're not. Dutch fishermen join the farmers. Yeah. Farmers' protest against net zero madness begins in the UK. Starting in Dover. And here. Oh, the deception. The deception is not so much a deception when you can do a little bit of research. Yeah. Coal. Dirty energy. Get rid of it. Oh, but we can sell it and make a lot of money. Imports have increased from South Africa and the US of A. They have increased to 467.4 million tons going to Rotterdam. Imported coal. Yeah. Dirty energy, but we can sell it to other people. I guess they don't really care about climate change, right? They are developing plant-based vaccines intended to seamlessly integrate into the food supply. Isn't that good? Yeah. You don't have to get that, shot. You can just go to the supermarket, buy some lettuce, and voila.
Manufacturing facility looks like a nursery, but inside these plants, they're growing a new kind of vaccine. The technology is called a virus-like particle.
At Medicago, we use a careful step-by-step process to develop vaccines, using our plants as mini bioreactors. We start with the gene sequence, or code of a virus. We then use our technology to synthesize the virus code into a real biological product. The code contains genetic instructions that our plants can read, and we insert it into bacteria called Agrobacterium tumefaciens. We submerge the plants in a bath with the bacteria that carries the information into the plant cells. And using a vacuum, we suck out the air between the plant cells and replace it with the liquid. The plants absorb it like a sponge. At the end of their bacterial bath, we return our plants to a carefully controlled greenhouse to let them get on with their natural growing business for at least 4 days. Now the plants will start producing the most important ingredient of our vaccines, virus-like particles.
All right, so you don't have to stand online in a pharmacy, go to the doctors. You can just eat some salad. All right. I've posted many videos of William Happer, Professor Emeritus of Physics at Princeton University, ex-director of the U.S. Department of Energy's Office of Science. You would hope that people would listen to him.
More CO2 is good for the world. It's not bad for the world. And so it's absurd to be trying to reduce CO2. We're in a CO2 famine now compared to what is normal for plants. And just about any plant, if you give it more CO2, and a lot more, it will do better. If you look from satellites, Australia is a poster boy of greening of the entire world, especially Western Australia. So it's unbelievable that they've managed to turn this beneficial gas, a part of life, into a threat. More CO2 is good for the world. It's not bad for the world. And so it's absurd to be trying to reduce CO2. We're in a CO2 famine now compared.
This information is easily accessible to anyone. And we still have people who refuse to even have a conversation about it. This was sent to me by a subscriber. Pfizer-BioNTech COVID jab to be sold in UK high street pharmacies. We have them selling vaccines in pharmacies here. Is this a new thing for you guys? Maybe. And of course, COVID-19 has not gone away and continues to be a threat. So wear the mask and social distance. As we move from a pandemic to an endemic state, we need to ensure we remain ready to respond to this constantly evolving and unpredictable virus. So it's clear that they really care about you guys. So you can get it now at your local pharmacy. An open letter to the Davos crowd. I was contemplating, do I read this? Let's see how far I can go. Dear self-styled global elites, no doubt, should this missive ever come to your attention, you will simply dismiss me as a conspiracy theorist, but no theorizing is necessary when the conspirators keep admitting to it, repeatedly speaking the quiet part out loud. Your creepy Bond villain-in-chief, Klaus Schwab, chairman of the World Economic Forum, has openly called for, quote, permanent interaction between governments and regulatory agencies on the one hand and businesses on the other. In other words, for a kind of global fascism. Meanwhile, Schwab's oily henchman, Yuval Harari, asserts that human rights exist only in the imagination. One needn't be a prophet to see where this is heading. Not only are you not trying to hide your agenda, you're obviously quite proud of it. As another of your number said in a speech at Davos in 2022, quote, The good news is that the elites across the world trust each other more and more. So we can come together and design and do beautiful things together. The bad news is that the majority of people trust their elites less. So we can lead, but if people aren't following, we're not going to get to where we want to go. Well, we need an awful lot of people not following. How to respond to this stunning example of tone-deaf arrogance, which I believe accurately represents the attitude of most elites these days, especially the elitist of the elites, the Davos crowd? First, anyone who describes themselves as an elite betrays a breathtaking egotism. They are openly acknowledging that they think themselves better than the rest of us, smarter, more knowledgeable, morally superior, better equipped to lead. So we should all just shut up and do as we're told. No. We're not going to do as we're told. Okay, you're not, I'm not, a whole lot in this chat and watching the live stream will not. But there's more people who will, even amongst the awake crowd, who will just, they'll be so scared and they will be, oh, I don't want to have any conflict and I've got to go along to get along, and they will bow down to the elite. Yeah. We're not going to do as we're told, not by you. We don't accept that you know more than we do about anything that matters, and certainly not about how to live our lives. If we had any doubts, if we ever wondered whether, after all, maybe your way was best, the last 4 years have proven unequivocally otherwise. Calling your pandemic response botched would be the greatest understatement in history. Everything you told us to do. Well, you can read that because, I don't know, YouTube may punish me. We the people are not on board. We reject your Great Reset. We reject your vision of the world. We reject globalism. We have nothing against other countries, but we prefer our own, warts and all, and we have no intention of surrendering our national sovereignty to any form of world government. We reject your multiculturalism. Other cultures may offer much to admire and to emulate, but we have our own culture, thank you, and it suits us just fine. Speak for yourself, Brownstone. Okay. We reject your vision of a tightly controlled, centrally planned economy. We prefer free markets, messy as they are, as the engine for producing the greatest possible individual liberty, prosperity, and human flourishing, which has already been achieved. Now we're just going backwards. We reject your nouveau fascism, in which world governments collude with global corporations, notably big tech and big pharma, to surveil, harass, and ultimately control the rest of us. We don't care if it's for our own good, although we sincerely doubt it. We'd much rather have self-governance, the freedom to decide for ourselves what is best for us and our families. In short, we reject you, the self-styled elites, the smug, sanctimonious limousine leftists who fly your private jets into Davos, then lecture the rest of us about our carbon footprint. We don't think you're in any way smarter or better than us. Indeed, you have proved to our satisfaction that you are not. We do not trust you. We do not want your leadership. We suspect, based on hard experience, that the beautiful things you intend to design and do are not beautiful at all, but rather hideous and loathsome. For us, at least, they may be beautiful for you as they increase your power, wealth, and influence, but we care about the magnificent edifice you are constructing for yourselves only to the extent that we wish to tear it down. If the past 4 years have taught us anything, it is that you elites are awful people. Your ideas are awful. Your vision for the future is awful. The society you wish to create, with yourselves in charge, would be unspeakably awful. We reject it. We reject you. So go away, leave us alone, or else suffer the consequences. I think this should have been written maybe 20 years ago. I'd love for people to wake up and say, absolutely, this could be written by me. You speak for me, and I am not going along with it. Yeah. U.S. steel workers outraged over a $1 billion deal selling out employees to a foreign entity. You know, the jobs, right? The loss of jobs. March, in the articles that I've been reading, March is going, there's going to be an explosion of layoffs. Now, I've been on live streams going through daily job cuts, showing you. We already have an explosion. Well, I sure hope that all of you who have employment still, you're ready to lose that job. And here, okay, so an EU MP, Christine Anderson, says the EU are frightened, the government officials in the EU.
You know, I just can't keep my mouth shut, so deal with it. But yeah, they are kind of, they're frightened at this point because a lot of them do realize what they're doing is not right. They're not serving in the best interest of the people, and it is no longer government of the people, by the people, for the people. At this point, it's government of the globalitarian misanthropists, for the globalitarian misanthropists, and by the globalitarian misanthropists. That's what we're looking at. And they're beginning to realize that the people will no longer let them get away with it, and they can no longer fool them into thinking, we have to save the planet now, and it's climate change, and it's all of this. People no longer believe in that, and I think they're catching on to the fact that it's a gigantic lie.
Gigantic lie. That's exactly what it is. We need more and more people. We see the farmers coming out in Europe in mass, disrupting, the daily operations of their countries. Ooh, Americans, are we going to see anything here? Bugs on the menu, Biden's climate, and the ESG policies threaten food supply. The Buckeye Institute sounded the alarm on the Biden administration's net zero climate control policies, and that agenda items threaten U.S. food production. Climate policies and mandates guided by the environmental, social, and governance agenda that is being pushed by the Biden administration carries a hefty price tag for American farmers and consumers. The farm's operational costs, as expected, all rose significantly. Carbon pricing will increase the average U.S. grocery bill by $110 a month, $1,330 annually, or 15%. Americans, farmers and ranchers lay out huge sums for everything from fertilizer, seeds, feed, to heavy machinery and pesticides to produce the food we eat. Yet the climate cult and ESG elites are causing these costs to skyrocket. And I will say again that it's all based on a lie. The people have to start considering very seriously what we are all saying. It's based on a lie. Don't you wish people would? I wish people would. Our migrant situation. All right, a couple of nights ago, live stream, I had included a video with Del Rio government official saying that Del Rio is no longer going to provide resources for illegal migrants. Del Rio is in Texas, and it is one, it has a port of entry, and they don't have the resources to take care of all of these illegal migrants. So Del Rio, they just said no more NGOs, no more resources going to illegal migrants. Al Sharpton shows up in Del Rio in hopes of causing racial division, attacking Border Patrol agents. And this is Anthony Aguero, who had a whole lot to say to Al.
Mr. Sharpton, why have you not been an advocate for the children that are being trafficked at the border right now, or all of the kids that are being brought over that have been drugged or sedated coming into the country, where up to 40% of the kids that have come across the border have gone missing? Where is your voice then? Why are you not speaking up for these children, sir? Why are you not being a voice for the children, for all the kids that have gone missing? Why are you not speaking up for the children that have gone missing within the government? Sorry, can I bring a mask on? Nobody's screaming in your face. Nobody's screaming in your face. Nobody's even talking to you.
To my
Where's the rest of your Democrat Party at?
former U.S. ambassador to South Africa.
Why are you not being a voice for the children missing at the border? 40% of children that have come in unaccompanied are now missing from the border. Kids are being sedated at the U.S. border. Why are you not being a voice for the children?
Atlanta, Georgia, New Birth Baptist Church.
Must be mainstream back there.
Why are you stoking racism where it doesn't exist?
How much money? Why are you trying to come and provoke violence? Why are you here advocating for violence? Why are you here advocating for violence? Del Rio is not a racist city. Del Rio is a loving, caring community. We don't want your racism in Texas. Get out of here. Nobody wants to hear your racist nonsense in Del Rio. You're a racist. Nobody wants you in Texas. Nobody wants you in Texas. Why are you not a voice for the children that have gone missing at the border? Where is your voice then? Get out with your racism. Get out with your reverse racism. Get out of here. Texas does not want your nonsense. This is a loving community. We denounce your racism and your hatred. Get out of Texas. Get out of Texas. Be here for America, not just for your people. Where are you speaking up for Americans? Why do you not speak up for the American citizens? Why don't you speak up for the children that are being trafficked through the border? Why are you not a voice for the 40% of children that have gone missing this year alone? It's a weaponization of the media. Stop with the race baiting. Del Rio will not succumb to your nonsense. Del Rio is not a racist community. Our Border Patrol agents are not racist. Our Border Patrol agents are heroes. 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 Get out of here. Del Rio denounces your racism and bigotry. Get out of here.
Right.
Race Mayor.
Hey, you're for justice, man. Keep it off. Thank you. Yeah, there's one blood for everybody. Reverend.
Why are you not being a voice for the children? Why don't you advocate for children, man? Huh? Look at me. Why don't you advocate for the children? Look at me, you little coward. Look at me. You coward. Coward. You coward. You're a coward, Al Sharpton. You're a coward.
Not even coming here.
Stop pushing racism. Who are you? Nobody's even talking to you. You're nobody. Get out of here. Somebody.
You ain't acting love.
You know what this guy is doing? Bringing nonsense into this community, bringing a bunch of freaking racism. This is all race bait. This is all race bait. This is all race bait. Man, I'm a first generation American. I stand for Americans, chump.
Whatever.
Go get a shot. I ain't backing down from you, chump. I had enough of you leftist pussies. Whatever, man. Say something.
You didn't figure anything different in this, did you? Surely. You didn't figure anything different than this. Nobody wants you down here. Go home. Where the hell that is?
Well, everybody, I kind of not apologize, but I wish you could have heard what the Reverend Al had to say.
You expected something different? You expected something different? What, are you kidding? Hey. Okay. That man has made a fortune off of his main job is to create division between the American people. Division based on race. That's all he does. And he didn't get away with it in Del Rio. Good on Anthony Aguero. Yeah, so out of control, illegal migrants get physical with volunteers in Chicago.
With tons of soup and tons of clothes and other supplies for the Venezuelan refugees. Something was different this week. Immediately, the refugees were kind of out of control. Our volunteers were getting swarmed and people were pushing and yelling and elbowing each other. I felt lost because I don't speak Spanish, and a lot of our volunteers are really nice and kind people, and they don't like yelling at people to back up repeatedly. I had to physically push people back to give our volunteers some breathing space. The good thing is that no one got hurt, but this type of experience can lead to burnout of the volunteers. I think this is a learning experience, and this week we're gonna have to have a discussion to figure out what we're gonna do next. I think we may need to draw chalk lines on the ground for waiting in line, or maybe buy some Halloween costumes of...
It's just a mess. It is a friggin' mess. Denver, Colorado, after spending more than $42 million on illegal migrants for the hotel's support services, Denver has decided to cut public services for Colorado citizen residents to continue forking out millions to cover the cost of the illegal migrants living in Denver. Some Denver motor vehicle offices will close for a week at a time. Recreation centers will reduce their hours, and the Parks Department will slash spring recreational programming by 25% to help offset the fast rising costs of sheltering migrants in the city. Hello, Americans, are you home? Is your brain working? Americans are getting shafted for this deluge, massive amounts of illegal migrants coming into the country when, well, we're giving billions to Ukraine and billions to Israel and billions in aid to other countries. And we gave an awful lot of money to other countries, and I can't remember the countries. You want to know for what? to build their border wall. Yeah. We're just so... Okay. So illegal immigrants will get more money and food stamps than our own military veterans. This is in New York. And those who are on assistance, who get food stamps, New York residents, you're getting less than those illegal migrants.
Says that each migrant will get approximately $12.52 per day to purchase food and baby supplies. That's about 40% more than what the average low-income American gets in this country on government food stamps or SNAP benefits in 2022, which was about $7.59 per person per day. To put in other words, that $53 million that's being used for this prepaid debit program is double what the New York State is budgeting in 2025 for its Department of Veterans Services, its Office of National and Community Service, its Division of Human Rights, and it's more than double what it says that each migrant will get a...
We're not just stupid. We're dangerously stupid for allowing this. And I would like to thank Elizabeth Rivard for agreeing to be a moderator. Big shout out to the new moderators, T. Lamb, Elizabeth Rivard. I'm a skeptic, but I don't see her in the house tonight. Thank you very, very, very much. So, yeah. I guess we like being shafted. And when this was back before Christmas, but the food pantry lines now all across the country are very long, increasingly so. Okay? But let's just keep bringing in all of the illegal migrants. It couldn't be more obvious. You don't have to continue to make an argument on what is happening. Because if you're facing someone who will argue against what's happening, you're facing someone who's truly mentally ill and they're a danger to themselves and you. This invasion is real. And when you look at how many Americans are struggling to just buy food, pay their bills. This is so outrageous that this is happening.
It is 7:45, 3 days before Christmas. Joe Biden's economy. This is the line at the food pantry. It started at 5 a.m. this morning. And there is over 1,000 cars here. There is 7 rows with well over 100 cars in each row. I cannot show you more cars yet. I am in the back. Got here at 5:30. It is 7:45.
And this is in Pennsylvania. It's Philadelphia. We've got our cities that are literally just turning into, I'm not even going to say third world countries because, they don't have people on drugs all over their streets like we do here. They're turning into cesspools. They're just turning into something that, it's only going to get worse.
Someone calls for claiming that there is something. Tell myself about the give me room.
A lot of people are hurting. What you just saw are a lot of people hurting. And it is a reflection of a society in rapid decay. Not just Philadelphia, American society. Wow. Propaganda wars begin. Illegal immigration will boost U.S. GDP by $7 trillion. You know it. How is this not the biggest political talking point right now? Since October 2019, native-born U.S. workers have lost 1.4 million jobs. Over the same period, foreign-born workers have gained 3 million jobs. How could anyone not see that this is purposefully done to destroy this country, destroy Americans? Oh, why would they do that? Because they're evil. Look at me not cursing. Yeah. And, all right, so I've been sent an awful lot of subscribers have sent me, oh my God, Sheriff in Ohio, which I played last night, talking about the imminent terrorist attack. Christopher Wray, about 6 weeks ago in a congressional hearing, also said essentially the same thing. But the reason why the Ohio sheriff wants the development of a 24/7 cybersecurity office in Ohio is because the cyber threats are very real. And then when you think about Cyber Polygon, you know, that simulation, Klaus Schwab saying it will make the COVID pandemic look like a walk in the park. I think a lot of this is going to be coming a lot sooner than I'd like.
It's also so troubling, and I suppose if I put myself in the shoes of the Chinese, I'd want to do whatever I'm going to do now while Joe Biden's in office. Should we expect that, in case something changes in 2024, should we expect things to increase? I mean, I know, here's Chris. Let me just show you this, because this is Christopher Wray talking about China's cyber threat capabilities, which we see are advancing as well. Listen.
If you took every single one of the FBI's cyber agents and intelligence analysts and focused them exclusively on the China threat, China's hackers would still outnumber FBI cyber personnel by at least 50 to 1.
So in addition to this, these cyber attacks, we also are seeing a massive increase of Chinese national military-age men, well-funded, by the way, coming, across the Darien Gap and through our border.
Yes.
What does all this mean?
Well, in the big picture, they're getting ready to use force against Taiwan if they have to. They're sending quite a few messages to both us and the Taiwan government that we're prepared to use force. If we do, it'll be something you Americans will regret, because they don't say this openly, but we know from this FBI testimony, among other sources, they have placed Trojan horses in our power grid, in our water system, the ground links that go up to satellites. These are not often protected, so encrypted data there can be blocked by the Chinese. They're kind of warning everybody, don't make trouble on Taiwan, because if you do, while you're busy with Iran and the Red Sea and the Houthis, we will attack Taiwan with either a blockade or missile strikes or something even more serious like the Normandy landing. This is very scary.
I don't think it's going to be missile strikes from China into Taiwan, but what we've got is an awful lot of military-aged men from China coming across the border. They're also coming from, 160 countries now? Oh my God. What? You would think that Americans would have already stood up, everybody marching to D.C., demanding that this stop. Nope, not at all. We're in nothing like setting ourselves up to be killed. Okay, so this man here is James. Oh, wait, no, he's Representative Tom Tiffany. And he was part of the natural resource hearing that they had about the border, all of what they're doing on the border. Not the fentanyl, not the migrants crossing, but the migrants leaving, and the NGOs leaving a tremendous amount of trash, lighting fires, yada yada. Okay, so here he is now. He's at the Ramada Hotel in Tucson. That's housing illegals, and he wants to get in and see what's happening. He is a congressman from the 7th District of Wisconsin. And he's trying to check out what is going on with all of these illegals. We've seen already that they stopped a state senator in Atlanta, Georgia, from getting in to see what was happening behind the barricade at the Atlanta airport. Military stopped him. A state senator. And here, this is a congressman, and they don't care. You can't get in.
Yeah, we just wanted to come in and take a look if we could. We're down here. Natural Resources Committee had a hearing this week, and just wanted to stop in and take a look at how this place is operating, because we understand that you have a lot of migrants coming through here.
So unfortunately, we're not allowed to let anybody that's not part of, the employees and staff and stuff like that through.
Who can we speak to as managers? Because
the manager is not here.
Members
at the
of
moment.
Congress, it's federal funding, so we need to know how we're doing on that, so we can take this information.
Let us see. Well, hold on. We're blocking the way here, guys.
Are they is the office just right here?
Yeah, but we're not supposed to. We can't go over there.
Because there is federal money that goes into, and we have oversight
Can you let him? I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Congressman Tiffany.
We have a Congressman Tiffany here, bro. We need a manager.
I need a manager right here, right now, please.
Thanks.
Right there.
All right, so I'll put the link in. They don't allow him to come in. The sheriff, deputy sheriff comes. They don't allow him to go in. And, you know, he says, well, I guess we're going to have to subpoena this facility. We'll see what happens. Hostage-taking Iranian migrant shot dead by Swiss police in train incident. Incident? This guy, 32 years old, Iranian asylum seeker, boarded a train armed with an axe and a knife and held 15 hostages for 4 hours. Yeah. Bringing in the best and the brightest. Wow, man. And here we go. Kirby. I love this because it's only 14 seconds and it's funny.
And I think anybody that watches that interview, now again, I haven't seen whatever's said, need to make sure remember you're listening to Vladimir Putin, and you shouldn't take at face value anything he has to say.
He's talking about Tucker Carlson interviewing Putin. I don't think anybody should watch it. You can't take anything at face value. What Putin says. That's coming from the mouth of a chronic liar. And don't we know it? French farmers coat Ukraine embassy with manure. Yeah, I do love the French. They're at it. But apparently there are protests now in Kiev demanding the resignation of Zelensky. I hope they get bigger. Israeli teacher locked up and persecuted for opposing war on Gaza. So, there's a whole lot of people who still think that the Jews and Israelis live such a privileged life. They never experience any of this evil. No, you're wrong. They sure do.
Here in Israel, for generations, we kill the Palestinians. We injure the Palestinians. We have more than 1,500 Palestinians in administrative detention. We demolished their houses here in Jerusalem. We cut down their olive trees. We confiscate their property, their waters. And most Israelis expect them to accept it. And when they don't accept it, they react in violent way. They blame them, the Palestinians. For most Israelis, I mean, we hold millions of Palestinians under occupation for generations. They are deprived their basic rights. And for most Israelis, it can go on forever. Look, don't get me wrong, I'm not justifying the violence, but this is I think the realistic conclusion. How can we expect the Palestinians to live under occupation forever? Every Israeli citizen knows clearly that if you dare to show the slightest sentiment towards the people of Gaza, if you criticize killing of innocent civilians, including women and children in Gaza, you will be politically persecuted. You will go through public shaming. You will lose your job. And in my case, be put in jail. I wanted as many Israelis to know what is done on their behalf. Most Israelis don't know, because the mainstream media doesn't show what really goes on in Gaza, what we are doing in Gaza. They wished me to die, they wished my children to die, they threatened to rape my daughter. That was the kind of reactions that were against. I was called for a hearing on October 18th, and the next day I was fired. The police asked me to come over for an interrogation. The minute I walked into the police station, they cuffed my hands and legs and confiscated my phone. Then, 5 detectives escorted me to my apartment and ransacked the place upside down. They put me in solitary confinement in a cell with no windows. They took away my watch. I didn't know when it was daytime, when it was nighttime. For them, I'm Hamas supporter. They refused to enter the class. And they began a very, very violent demonstration. I was literally under siege inside the teacher's room. Dozens of students were on the windows, knocking the windows, cursing me.
Doesn't seem like for those who are just moral people today, it's not an easy walk. Israeli government report admits systematic torture of Palestinians. An Israeli government report. This was 24 years ago. See the date? No, it didn't start. October 7. And yeah, okay. Fetterman, they go. I don't understand how it is, and I haven't my entire life, how it is that Americans can't see their representatives clearly. They can't see them for who they really, truly are. Violent psychopaths who don't care about anything, and they don't even care about their constituents. They don't care about the views of their constituents. They get into office and they vote based on how they feel, their opinion, or how much money they're going to make with the vote. But keep voting. That's a great way to get out of everything we're in.
I'm a Palestinian. Why can't you look me in the face? running away? Why are you running away? I'm a military intelligence officer. I'm a constituent. And you have a right to come on the I need to speak with him. You want to know why? Please. Why did you run away? Why are you hiding?
Why are you hiding, John? Come on.
Come on, open the door. We're not doing
You guys get off the door, please.
That's so disgusting. You can't even come out and speak like a normal human being.
Why is it more genocide? So there might be more different people that you may want to protesting around. Okay.
No.
I've been very clear.
Wait,
Very clear.
Senator, one question. Have you talked to any of the Americans?
I'm a Palestinian.
I'm going to respect your views. I ask you to respect mine.
That's not
the people.
That's an inhumane view.
Being pro-genocide is not a view.
I'm a Palestinian. Why can't you look me in the face?
We came to speak to him or the staff and didn't find but a locked door. He has all the hostages and pictures in there for the Israelis, and I feel it's very one-sided that he doesn't have anything for the Palestinians. So we'd like to either bring him some or ask him why he doesn't.
Shown a lot of disregard for Palestinian lives, and especially given that he campaigned on being a progressive. He's let a lot of people down who initially.
Progressive? What does that mean? It's just we're progressing on the road to, further our evil agendas. I'll put the link in because there's more in that video. But no, these people don't listen to their constituents. They have profound disrespect for their constituents. Okay. You know what? I have to. I have to. Now, I'm just going to play a little bit of this. You don't actually see, he does grab the dog by the collar. But I want to say to everyone, and I've said this to people who have claimed, that when I've spoken out to people who have done things publicly, who have claimed that it's none of my business. If you do things publicly, you make it everybody's business. So that doesn't work. And good on this woman.
Dog right there.
I ain't mind your motherfucking business.
You just punched that dog. You punched it.
Man, your business.
I'm worried about that fucking dog.
You gotta worry about this dog.
Obviously I do. You're sitting there beating the shit out of it.
Alright, that's all. That's all I can watch. I none of your business. Oh, you can't restrain yourself in public? You make it everybody's business. Too bad on you. Alright, so this dog reunited with her lost puppies. After the owner took her puppies away, Cora the dog wound up at a shelter. She was so depressed that she wouldn't leave a corner. But the Marin Humane Society found Cora's puppies and brought the family together.
I'll take care of it. You can yell at me.
with people who claim that it's only the two-legged that has feelings. Oh, wow. Wow, really. So this is very cute. I'm going to post the link to it. Geo Beats Animals. Why is not subscribed on C? That's a whole other channel that I've never ever used, but the power outages that I experienced today, my computer went down, and coming back, I come back on a channel that I never use. So here, and it's hard sometimes because those of you who know Buster, yeah, Buster was the coolest cat.
Hi. This cat is the most unique soul that I've ever met.
How's your dinner?
I'm Jandy, and this is Bruce. Bruce's story for GeoBeats. I was volunteering for our local shelter, and a woman called the shelter, and she said, I have this neonatal kitten underneath dumpster on the hot cement, and so I went out to get the kitten. On the way there, they called me back, and they said, never mind, you don't have to go. The woman decided she was going to keep this neonatal kitten.
Good job.
I said, okay, but there was something inside me that wanted to go anyway. Since when is there only one newborn kitten? And I started looking through all the dumpsters just to make sure there weren't any other kittens. And underneath the last dumpster, I heard this big bellowing meow, and it was Bruce. I looked at the mama cat, I put out traps, I talked to the neighbors. I was really hoping to get the mom and bring her and reunite her with the babies, but I could never find her.
Let me see those big eyes.
I did get in contact with the other woman, who's had his sister, and she said, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I said, they'll have a better chance if they're together. So she brought the girl over to me, and I fostered both of them together.
Good job, Bruce.
The first couple of months, I was feeding around the clock every 2 hours.
You're so precious.
When Duke was old enough, Casey adopted her. I was keeping an eye out for people to adopt Bruce, but I realized I wasn't going to trust anybody else with this cat. He was mine. He's adventurous, vivacious.
I'm watching.
He has a spirit that is larger than life.
You got me. Bruce. Baby. I can laugh and you can be in trouble at the same time.
I do a lot of rescue work. I work with a lot of animals. But the bond that Bruce and I have, I think that he understands how much I love him, and he loves me in the same way.
What's wrong? I know. It's okay.
At 8 months old, he suddenly fell ill. I took him to the emergency room, and he was diagnosed with large cell lymphoma.
Don't worry. You're okay.
I knew this veterinary oncologist was wonderful, and I called her, I'll never forget, on a Saturday. I begged her, I said, is there anything I can do to get in on Monday? She said, we can't wait till Monday. She said, can you come in today, Saturday night? She opened the clinic and she gave him a rescue remedy, and she said, if this works, we can talk about the next step.
Oh, good boy.
And thereafter, it was 8 months of treatment, and it did not look like he was going to survive.
You're such a good boy.
I could not give up on him. He went into remission, shocked everybody.
You got outside?
I just wanted him to be able to play again and be a kitten. And we got to go on all our adventures together, to the river and on trips, and we got to play with his litter mates and his friends.
That is so cool. So cool. Oh, boy. And here, this was sent by our very own SCDHL. I so miss the deer in Montana. need to learn from the four-legged. And none of these are, they all end up really good, okay? And thanks to the people who rescue animals. And this, love is the answer.
'Cause what about angels? They will come, they will go and make us special. Don't give me up. Don't give me up. How unfair, it's just our love. Found something real that's out of touch. But if you'd search the whole wide world, would you dare to let it go? 'Cause what about angels? They will come, they will go, make us special.
What a transformation, huh? Love is the answer. And for all of the hurt, traumatized people out there, wow. If they had that kind of love and patience, a whole lot could recover. But here, what has always struck me about life is how it's kind of like this unfathomable mystery. And when you see the mystery right before your eyes, it has always, I suppose I could use the word awesome. That's not a word that ever really came to mind, but I did use it once in New Mexico. Was it New Mexico? Or maybe Arizona in like 1998, I think. The mountains. I literally had to stop the car. It was breathtaking where I was, and I can't even remember where it was. But this too. That's a wow. I mean, this kind of stuff I would hand up to mouth, eyes open wide, with a smile, and it just kind of leaves you speechless. And look at this. There's a goat in Nepal inhaling and exhaling incense smoke. A goat that smokes. Very cute. Dog complains until his treat is dipped And eating watermelon with friends. You know what struck me? This watermelon has seeds. This is not in the United States of America. There are places where the fruit is still fruit, and watermelon has seeds, and fruit has seeds, and oh, the food is not poisonous. When I see stuff like this, I think to myself, life could have been so unbelievably beautiful, exquisite, lots of fun, just living life. And the difference between a border collie and a husky. Mama bear crossing the road. I was trying to find this video, and the woman who's interviewed in this segment here, just the video itself, it was incredible because all of these cars are backed up, and this bear is trying to get all of her cubs across the road, and some cubs come running back, and all of the people were very patient, good, and then finally she was able to get all of the cubs across the road. But I never saw this news segment. I haven't listened to it, so let's listen to it together.
Video that every parent can relate to. We've shown you this video of Mama Bear having a hard time getting her 4 cubs across the road. And today we hear from the woman who actually recorded the video that has now gone viral. Jeannie Most reports.
Mama Bear and 4 cubs stopped traffic in Connecticut trying to cross a road. Mom has her paws full, not to mention her mouth. A 3rd cub crosses. No, make that prances to the other side. 3 across and 1 to go. Uh-oh, the 4th cub is up a pole. Mom to the rescue, but wait, someone's back. It can be a drag wrangling 4 little ones. This is something any human mom can relate to.
Go, babies, go.
Robin Cavelli, mother of 4, shot the video and said of the pole climber in particular,
he reminded me so much of my son. I could just hear myself yelling, "Get down off of that pole, get across the street, you're making a scene here."
Someone on Twitter posted, "Aw, someone should get out of their car and help." Somebody else put the wise in wise guy by replying, "You want to be mauled? Because that's how you get mauled." Meanwhile, Mom was gently mauling her babies. Robin Cavelli's takeaway?
Just how hard it is to be a mom, and especially 4 babies, and I really felt for the mom.
Scottish comedian Janie Godley supplied bear narration.
Oh, jeez, I've not got a minute to myself. You, come here, Mammy. Oh, that's my ear, Mammy.
And just when it seemed all 4 were safely across, one of the cubs made a break for it, crossing the double yellow line. Mom was forced once again to take matters into her mouth as another cub followed in her footsteps. Aww. This is the kind of behavior that inspires lame jokes like, "Why did the bear cross the road to get to the other cub?" Jeannie Murphy, CNN, New York.
It was a great video. I wish. You know what? I am not going to play another video because it's not fun. And I'm tired. I'm sure a lot of you are tired as well. And a whole lot of us are living lives that are kind of trapped in this hell. I wish that I had a place. I wish that I had a sanctuary. I'd still continue to do what I'm doing. But boy, even when I was living in Massachusetts and taking walks with my dogs and so much wildlife, I loved going into the woods, all the wildlife. This was back in like 2007, 2008. I have a lot of stories. My bear story, actually. But I loved it. It was so peaceful. And it was so... Talk about joy. Yeah. I can feel joy. Put me around animals, horses, wildlife. So it's been very hard living what I've been living. Because the absence of joy, and I'm saying this because I know that an awful lot of you are also experiencing the absence of joy. You know, the absence of wildlife in your areas, the absence of birds and you know, for those of us who can't ignore what is happening, you know, it got to the point, looking at all of the trees that were really suffering, it just gets harder and harder, because you see that nature is literally being killed off. I understand, Cecilia. And a whole lot of people will claim, oh, you're just a miserable person. No. I completely understand. So, I know what joy is. That's sad to me that you don't. Kenosis, it's... And I think a lot of people, you know, are... They've lived lives without it. So, we just need to bring our best selves to life every single day, regardless of the circumstances that you live. It may be very challenging, but that's what our obligation is. That's what we have to do. Treat the two-legged and four-legged as you would want to be treated. And live honestly and speak honestly. Just thinking that you do is not good enough. If you've done some work on yourself, you will know the bullshit that you have lived, and you want to change it. So, on that note, I say to each and every one of you, thank you for showing up. I hope to see you tomorrow night. Stay safe. Stay safe. Help in your community. Animal shelters. Help those in need. Extend yourself. Don't wait to be asked. And on that note, I say good night and good luck. Ciao, guys. Hope to see you tomorrow night.